Hello, wonderful people. Hello, beautiful faces. I'm happy to have you here once again. Welcome to another episode of Same Page with Prudence, where we discuss matters on relationship, faith, finance, the society, and us. Today, we're looking at personal conviction in choosing a life partner. The importance of personal conviction in choosing a life partner. Anyways, if you are just seeing my face for the first time, subscribe and yes, hit the bell button so that whenever a new video pops up, you'll be notified. And to my returning subscribers, thank you for always coming around to watch my videos. I truly appreciate and I love you guys. I'm not tired of saying this. Yes, I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. Personal conviction is very important in choosing a life partner. I'm sorry to say this, but we are now in a generation where people want to marry and leave the work of choosing who to marry to somebody else. We are now in a generation where people are lazy to even take the time and all it will take to choose a life partner. Personal conviction is something that is very important as far as marriage is concerned. It is your personal belief and assurance that yes, this is the person God wants you to marry. God himself instituted marriage, and I don't think anybody should go into marriage without hearing from God, without knowing the will of God for him or her. Personal conviction is something I advise and encourage anybody who wants to marry to have. You must have your own personal conviction when you are choosing a life partner. Some people find themselves in a dilemma where they have somebody they want to marry. They are compatible with the person, and their pastor will say this is not the person for you. Some people will be like, I have somebody I want to marry, we are compatible, everything is fine, I'm convinced, but my pastor has prayed, and my pastor said he or she is not the one for me. Or my mother or one of my auntie took a picture to our prophets or took their name for prayers, and they said we are not meant to be. Okay, I'm not saying that your parents cannot advise you when it comes to marriage, or your spiritual parents, your pastors, prophets, and the rest cannot advise you when it comes to marriage. What I'm trying to say is that your personal conviction is more important than any other person's conviction. Because it's your marriage you're talking about here. You are the one that will be in the marriage, not your parents or your pastor. You get? So, your personal conviction must really, really come to play here. God cannot tell you A and tell your pastor B. God cannot tell you A and tell your parents C. Like, God is not an author of confusion. Now, if you find yourself in this situation where you want to marry somebody and your parents are saying no, that the person is not God's will for you, or your pastor is saying no, if you don't have your own personal conviction, what do? You find that you don't even know what to do. You just obey your parents or obey your pastor without even knowing God's will for you, because you don't have a personal conviction. When you have your own personal conviction, it means you have heard from God. It means God has spoken to you. God has spoken to that person you want to marry. Like, you are sure that this is where God wants you to be. You are very sure. Personal conviction is what will give you that boldness to stand against opposition. When your parents start saying, no, you will not marry this person, this person is not from our tribe, or you will stand your ground and say, no, this is God's will for me. You are sure because you have a personal conviction. And even when your parents are adamant, your pastors are all adamant, you can still go to God in prayer and say, God, you said this is your will for me. This is what is happening. Take control, take charge. But if you don't have a personal conviction, what will you go and tell God? How can you go and pray to God? So you need a personal conviction in choosing a life partner. Even in the marriage, even when you have entered into the marriage and some things are not going on well, some things are not moving all the way you feel they should move. You can go to God in prayer and say, God, you asked me to go into this union. This is your will for me. This is what is happening that I don't like. Lord, come and take charge, come and take control. You can go and meet God, because you have a personal conviction that you are in the right place. You have not made mistake in choosing your life partner. People can advise you to marry, they can counsel you, suggest and all of that. But your personal conviction should overrule every other suggestion. Because you are the one that will be in the marriage. You are the one that will spend the rest of your life with that person. If there's anybody that should hear from God concerning who you should marry, you should be that person. People can pray with you, people can, search with you and all of that, but people should only confirm what God has told you. If God is saying this is the person and other people are saying no, it means somebody did not hear from God. God is not an author of confusion. If God is telling you A, you also tell the other person A, so that everything will just be in harmony. So don't. Some people that find themselves in this situation, I always tell them, I always ask them, what is your personal conviction? You've brought a man home, your parents say no, they are not convinced is the one for you. Are you convinced? You are confused. Are you convinced? Did you even get a personal conviction before taking that man home to meet your parents? You have a lady you want to marry, your parents, everybody, some people are saying no. There are oppositions here and there. What is your own personal conviction? Or you just say, I can't fight this. Let's just go our separate ways, because you don't have a personal conviction. Nothing is convincing you to say you must marry this person.